Hi guys, it's Little Prepper Lady here. It is Saturday, July 13th, 2019, and this is take two on this video. I have been having nothing but computer problems for the past couple of days. I don't know what the heck is going on, but man, it is irritating. I literally had this video like 3/4 of the way done, and Brian was in it and everything, and then my computer decided to just shut off on me. So we'll see if things decide to go as planned this time. Fingers crossed. Okay, so today is Samantha's party. I ran upstairs, to kind of be able to do this video and upload it for you guys. So she's out back right now with all of her friends, partying it up and being a teenager. So, hi, Brian. I haven't really started yet. I was explaining that this is take two. So, today we're going to talk about different ways that we can filter water during an S.H.T.F situation. So, most people already know, you can filter water using bleach. So, essentially for that, you would take 1/8 of a teaspoon of bleach per gallon of water. So you just add the bleach into your water and then you shake it up really good and you let it sit for an hour. If for some reason you can't smell the bleach in it after about a half an hour, then you have to add more and do it again. You should be able to smell the bleach in it to make sure that it's killing the bacteria, the viruses, and any type of pathogens that could be in your water supply, which is the entire purpose of doing it that way. Another one that everybody usually does is boiling. And you really should boil your water no matter what, no matter how you filter it, no matter how you try to remove any debris and things like that from it. Boiling is always going to be your best bet. So you have to boil it for at least a minute, unless you're in like a higher altitude location. So like where I am here, a minute would be fine. I would actually probably do it for 2 just to be safe. But if you're in the mountains, you're at a higher altitude, way above sea level, then I would recommend boiling it for at least 3 minutes. You can also treat your water with iodine. Now, there are some downsides to using iodine tablets. It's going to make your water taste a little funky. Some iodine kits that you can get now in the stores actually have another tablet in with them that help to make the water taste better after treating it with the iodine. So that's something that I would look into, purchasing so that you have that as a backup plan. I would definitely get the ones that have that, alternative tablet in it to make the water taste a little better, because iodine water is kind of funky. But, if you're thirsty and you need to have it to survive, you'll basically do what you need to do. You can also find a natural spring. So there are a lot of them around this area, but it all depends on where you live. And you have to be cautious, what areas you're tapping into a natural spring from. So if it's someplace where there's a lot of chemicals being used, or it's someplace, where there's a lot of farmlands and there's a lot of animals and things, that's probably not going to be your best bet. You're going to want to try to find the cleanest source of water that you possibly can, and don't take the water from where the spring goes into. Take it from the spring itself. And I would still, even doing that, recommend boiling it if it's an option. If it's not, you'll probably be okay, but you can't guarantee that just taking it from a natural spring, you're going to not have access to, diseases and things like that. So just keep that in the back of your mind. You can also, use bottles or cans, jars, mason jars, even plastic water bottles, anything essentially to make a filter system. So a good idea is to have 2 bottles. So you have like one like this, and then you put a piece of cloth over top of it, or a bandana, a shirt, something that can catch the large debris. And then you put your water into that and let it strain through to the inside of the cup. And then I would recommend doing that like 2 or 3 different times, just because doing it once isn't going to clean everything out, and the more you do it, the more stuff that you're going to get out of it. And I would still recommend boiling it. So start a fire, and boil it, just to remove any of those harmful things that could potentially still be in the water. That method is just specifically for removing large debris like, twigs, leaves, any of that kind of stuff. You can also use charcoal. Charcoal is used in a lot of purchased water filters through the store, and it's also used to treat water that goes into bottled water that we purchase. And you can do charcoal from a fire. So here's what you do. Now, this is a long process and it does take quite a few hours for this to work, but I would suggest, if you have the ability to do this and you can teach yourself how to do it. I want to get out and I want to learn how to do this from scratch, and I'll probably do a video on that. I thought this was pretty cool and I'm going to try it out and see what happens with it. But essentially what you do is you get a nice hot fire going and then you let it go out. And I'm not saying like put it out yourself with water or anything like that. Just let it go out, let it burn down. And then you take those bits of wood and ash that's in the bottom of the fire, and you gather them up when they're nice and cool. And that's essentially charcoal. So what you can do from that is put it into a cloth and tie it up really tight and put it in the bottom of a container. And then on top of that, you'll want to do like sand or pebbles or whatever you have available. You want to put that in cloth, tie that up, and put that on the top of that charcoal that you already have at the bottom of it. And that works as a filtration system too. So the bottom of that container would need to have a hole in it, and then you would pour the water over top and it filters through the pebbles, it filters through the sand, it filters through the charcoal, and then it comes out clean on the other end. And I would suggest doing that a couple of times, just to make sure that you have it as clean as you possibly can. Let's see here. Another good one, and I thought this was pretty cool. So if you have containers, plastic containers, bottles, anything like that, it has to be plastic. It can't be glass to do this. But if you have plastic water bottles or plastic bottles from tea or Gatorade or anything like that, you can gather water from a creek or a stream or something and sit it in the sunlight. Now, they recommend letting it sit for at least 6 hours. And if it's cloudy, obviously it's going to have to sit longer. But what this is solar water disinfection. So S.H.T.F is the term for it. And it has to be clear and it has to be plastic in order for those UV rays from the sun to come into the bottle and break down everything and essentially filter out your water system. So if it is going to be cloudy outside, then I would recommend doing it for like 2 or 3 days, setting it aside on a dark surface. So you want to have it on something that's black so that it's, getting the sun, drawn to it, and it works a lot quicker that way. So these are just some tips and tricks and things that I came across that I think are cool. So if you're in the middle of the woods and you don't have any water with you, these are different things that you can do as long as you have a couple of bottles and some cloth, which most of us will have in our bug out bags and things like that. So we'll be pretty prepared to be able to do a lot of these different things in order to make sure that we always have a clean supply of drinking water. And of course, these are just options in case you don't have a life straw or some type of filtration system that's with you in your bug out bag or in your preps as well. So that's essentially all that I have for you guys today.
I have a side note for all the haters and trolls out there. I got the notification yesterday that my girl was going live, and 3 hours before her live stream, she already had 2 dislikes before the video even started. Why don't you trolls and haters try this? Filter some vodka with ice and orange juice, and maybe it'll lighten up your day a little bit more, and you'll have a better day, and you won't be thumbs down on everything before it even starts. Have a nice day.
And on that note, always remember, guys, everything does happen for a reason. So whether you're having a good day or a bad day, you're in a good situation or a bad situation, just stick with it. You're on that journey for a reason. Also, always remember, forget about the past. There isn't anything that we can do about the past other than learn and grow and try to become better people from our past. We need to be living our lives right now. Tomorrow's not guaranteed. We all could not be here tomorrow. So it's important that we're living, loving, and laughing right now, enjoying our family and our friends while we're staying focused on the future. That's all we've got for you guys today. So I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.